Welcome back. Well, let's focus on Aarti Drugs then. That's the stock on our radar as the company's Surabhi unit in Maharashtra had a fire incident which caused temporary disruption of production. Mr. Adhish Patil, the CFO of Aarti Drugs, joins us on the show. Hi, Adhish. Good morning and good to see you in. Well, with regard to this disruption that we have seen at this unit, could you quantify it on the financials? What was the potential revenue loss because of this fire?
Yeah, so this happened actually just outside the plant of one of our anti-inflammatory drug. So that drug contributes to around less than 3.5% to the overall sales. So that way it is not big. And as far as the fixed asset loss is concerned, we are estimating, it is a rough estimate that it will be below 1 year. And we do have IAR policy, which will cover this loss. So from the loss point of view, it is not much, but it might cause a production disruption for around 10 to 12 days, probably. This is just a rough estimate.
Okay, so 10 to 12 days of production disruption, but you don't see any kind of loss. Any timeline that you can give us on how long the operations could be suspended?
Yeah, so probably in 12 days or so, we will try to resume the operations. But that is just for the one product. Rest of the products are working fine.
Okay. So in 12 days, you'll resume operations. Got that. So good to hear that, the losses are also temporary for you and fairly small in amount. Let's get to the business then. You had said earlier that your margins can improve by an additional 100 basis points. I think you've seen about, in Q4, your margins improved to the best levels in many quarters. So what is the kind of guidance that you have? What are the margin levers for the company?
Yeah, so the main margin lever for the EBITDA would be gross margins itself. So we are estimating that this first quarter of this financial year will be even better as respect to the previous quarter, maybe by 0.5% or so. That is totally because of the base effect and the normalization of the prices versus the input cost. On the side, we are also doing a lot of process R&D to improve the efficiency of the process, which will also lead to better gross contribution. The only hold up for the first quarter might be that we just had started our salicylic acid plant. So because of some equipment problem, we were not able to fully scale up. But then we will be expensing out all the depreciation and the interest costs, which might hit P&L a little bit in the first quarter.
Okay. If you could help us with an update on the overall revenue targets that you have for the year, Adhish. I think earlier the longer term revenue target was about 4,000 to 4,500 crores of sales. That was over a longer roadmap, 3 to 5 years. Right. And then, you have a capex plan also coming on stream. Could you give us a slightly more near-term target? How is FY25 looking from a revenue standpoint?
So for this longer-term target, there were two main greenfield projects which were ongoing. One of which was salicylic acid, which we have just started in last quarter. Just teething problems are there, but we'll be sorting out soon, and probably within 5-6 months, we'll be able to streamline the production. And as far the other backward integration project was concerned in Saika, that will be coming online in next quarter. So both these projects will help us boost our top line as well as the margins because of backward integration. And the near-term target for this current financial year, we were estimating around it's a good double-digit volume growth, but we are also expecting negative rate variance in the first half of the year. That was because last 4 quarters, sequentially the price, input cost, as well as the selling prices were going down. So we are estimating that probably with respect to the June 2024, that is the last financial year quarter, there might be still 10 to 11% price degrowth.
Oh, okay. So 10 to 11% price degrowth in the June quarter. So what is the expectation? Do you think it will start normalizing by the second half? That's what we're hearing from at least some companies. And again, then where do you stand? You did revenue of around 2,500 crores in the previous fiscal. So again, going back, long-term roadmap, we get 4,000 crores. But this year, is it realistic to expect that at least you'll start growing again? Because last year was a dip in the top line.
Yeah, so last year, it was totally because of the rate variance. We actually had a good volume growth, but because of the rate variance, it went down. But in spite of that, in spite of the selling prices going down, our gross contribution kept on improving. So that is a very good sign.
No, but when do you expect a recovery in pricing? Like you're saying, the price erosion is quite significant in the June quarter.
So
What are you
right
expecting in Q2, Q3?
Yeah, so right now, if we see last financial year, the prices kept on falling every quarter. Means, June it was higher, September it was lower than June, then December it was even lower, and March was lower, and it stabilized at that point. So if we compare with respect to previous quarter, that is the March quarter, probably there won't be much negative rate variance in June quarter.
Okay, earlier your long-term revenue target was to achieve 4,000 to 4,500 crores of sales in about 3 to 5 years. Just to get back to that discussion, is that still on track? And what do you think the long-term levers could be for the company?
Yeah, so that is quite on track. So there are two greenfield projects which I just spoke about, and other is the formulation business, which is also growing. We just had USFDA inspection for our oncology plant of formulation. And plus, we are also expecting a UK MHRA inspection very soon for the OSD facility adjoining it. So our formulation business is right on track, and we are targeting export market for formulations. And already we have crossed around 50 to 55% of the top line is now coming from the export market for formulation. So that is right on track. And the other part was about the greenfield expansions, which we are doing at the API, spec chem, and even intermediate side.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, Adhish. Thanks a lot for joining in. Appreciate it here on CNBC TV 18. Well, that is Aarti Drugs.